Hello people, welcome to this class. In this class, we're gonna create the layout of our application, the layout for our admins. In the layout is the place where we can place our menu items like our orders or categories, and then we can navigate throughout our application. Right here, if you see, I added an image for my logo. I will let this image in the resources of this lecture, so don't worry. Okay? As we're using Bootstrap and Bootstrap already has its default colors, I will change the default color, the primary color, to match our logo color. Here we are using purple for our primary color. Let's go to CSS, copy this one, and change it to custom. This file is responsible for custom or CS or Bootstrap variables. Let's go to custom, delete all this, and in the root of our page, the BS primary color will be 643797. It's the purple one. And for the primary RGB, because Bootstrap used this variable, let's say 155, 151. Now, when we use the BS text, BS color, we're gonna use this color. All right, let's go to layout. Let's import this file. Let's say custom.css. Let's get this header and delete it. Delete this footer as well. If you start your application, it's gonna look like this. There is no navigation, and in this lecture we're gonna add this navigation to orders, to dishes, but it will send us to nothing because we don't have this page at the moment, but we are gonna create this in future. Let's go to our layout. Now we're gonna use a lot of Bootstrap. Let's use class, will be a deflect, and the navigation. Nav, it will have the PG primary color, our purple one, text white. The nav will have the v height, sen, the max, and we're gonna set an inline style here for width. Let's say max width as this much. Let's create a place for our logo. Let's say deflex, justify contents, center. Let's create a new div here. Let's say BG white, rounded, circle, and let's say a inline style here. Let's say width 80 and height 80. Of course, we could create a custom class here and set this style, but I don't think it's really important because we are not gonna to use it anywhere on our application, just on our layout. Let's create our image, the source. You don't have to say www root here. Let's just call our image, and this is our image, as you can see. And the width and the class, let's say image fluid, so it will get all the container, all the box. Let's create a list, and this list will be a nav with a flex column. All right, let's see how this looks like on page right now. This looks like this, so let's add our links. Let's say li class knife item, Let's say this will be a link. The class will be navlink. Text white. This will be a drop-down link. So let's use data BS toggle. Let's say collapse. And the href will be orders menu. The role will be a button. Area expanded is false. This is for accessibility. This is not mandatory, but I'm using because it's a good practice. It is other controls, orders, menu. Right. Open this anchor. Let's use an icon here. FS solid. FA carting shopping. And this will be our orders. But as I'm using here font awesome, let's get the font awesome from CDN. I'll get the 5 version. Let's use the 6 version. Copy this link tag, place it in the layout. Let's create a div here with the class collapse. So this will collapse. The ID will be orders menu. It's inside of it. I'm sorry. The UL. Let's say class nav again. Flex column. MS3 for margin start. Let's create a list item here for class knife item. And an anchor with ASP action for index, ASP controller for orders, and the class will be navlink. Let's say list. Let's create a new one here for edit. Let's say create, and let's pass as route ID as 0 because we're gonna create a new one. Let's see how this is going. And here we have it like this. Let's improve it. Let's change it for width instead of max width. Let's change it with a PY for creating spacing. Let's see now. This is how it's going now. If I click, nothing happens. Something is wrong. Let's see what's wrong. Orders menu. Orders menu. I misspelled here. It's data toggle with 2 G's. Let's go. Let's start our application again. If you see now, it's working, but it's kind of ugly. Let's add custom styles here. Let's go to our site.css. Let's add a nav link. Let's say the color will be SSF. It's important because we have to subscribe it. Let's say nav link hover. When we hover over it as hover, let's say the background color will be the BS secondary. Let's see now what is the final result of it. Nothing happens. Let's change it here. Instead of has hover, let's just use hover, normal hover. Here now we have this hover effect here. And this is enough for this lecture. In the next lecture, we're gonna create the other menus and the footer. See you again.